Digimon Survive, the long-awaited console Digimon game, the first non-mobile game since 2017's Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, finally has a release date. First suggested by a reliable source who has a history of acquiring Japanese magazines like V-Jump early and sharing info online, then confirmed by Digimon Games Twitter and now up on the official Digimon Survive website, we finally know that Digimon Survive will release on July 29th, 2022, this year. This new release date follows a long legacy of release windows and delays that have almost gave the game a sort of mythical meme status among Digimon fans. Many joke that the real game is if we can survive long enough to see Digimon Survive release. When it was announced in 2018, it had a 2019 release window. Then in July 2019, it was pushed into the 2020 window. Then almost radio silence all through 2020 and 2021, with fans only getting the occasional confirmation that the game was not in fact cancelled. During February 2022's Digimon Con event, the game's Q&A saw series producer Habu-san reveal previously unknown gameplay elements, which were admittedly pretty cool to see, before stating that they were not yet ready to give a final release date just yet and asking fans to be a little more patient. Now, about a month and a half later, they seem to be ready to share that July 29th date. And you may be thinking it's kind of wild that they couldn't share the date just a month and a half ago during Digimon Con when they had so many eyes on their event. And while I can understand that perspective, keep in mind, game development is so incredibly touch and go. And with how many release dates and release windows this game had already, my guess is they did not want to share this July 29th date until they were 1000% sure it could happen. A lot can change in a month and a half, so maybe on February 27th, they were 95% sure it was coming out on July 29th, and it took until the end of April for them to be 100% confident they could share that date. In just a second, we'll talk about what comes next for Digimon Survive, whether the game will have voice acting and in what languages, and we'll recap some of the confusion that went into this release date announcement if you're only hearing all this news now. But before that, a quick hello from the sponsor of this video. Zenin TCG is truly a one-stop shop for Digimon fans across the world, specializing in things like the Digimon card game, plushies and figurines, and of course the DIM cards and Vital Bracelet products. Their goal is to provide the best online shopping experience for anyone looking to buy Digimon products, and honestly, I think they are succeeding. You often hear the term for fans by fans, and Zenin TCG truly embodies that. They really love Digimon, which makes the whole thing even better. To commemorate the 20th anniversary of Digimon Frontier, up on their online shop, you can get those Frontier Dim cards, the EX3 Digimon Frontier Spirit Flame set, which includes cards containing the evolution routes of Agunimon, Kazemon, and Kumamon, and the DIM card set EX3 Digimon Frontier Spirit, which includes the DIM cards containing the evolution routes of Lobomon, Beetlemon, and Loemon. You can also expect future Digimon merch to be available through Zenin TCG, so even if the Vital Bracelet isn't really your thing, Zenin TCG is a great resource to know about for international Digimon fans. If you do get anything from Zenin TCG, or you have in the past, tweet me at the Digino with pics of what you bought. I want to see your collection. Now, when I started working on this video, we're hearing that July 28th is the release date for Digimon Survive in Japan. We don't yet know if they're releasing the game on Switch and PS4 outside of Japan on that same date. Maybe North America, Europe, etc. get the game later than July 28th due to the high amount of text in this narrative-heavy tactical RPG that needs to be translated into other languages outside of Japanese. It could be the case that the reason they weren't confident giving a release date during Digimon Con was because Digimon Con was an international fan event, and the translation/localization is the wildcard element for locking in a release date. This was all speculation though, and was never very likely. Games releasing in different regions on different dates is becoming more and more rare in this day and age of game development. Long gone are the days where Kingdom Hearts 2 would release on December 22nd, 2005 in Japan, but not until March 28th, 2006 in North America, and then September 2006 in Europe. It frankly doesn't happen for major releases these days. I'm sure there are some exceptions and examples that you can think of, so feel free to comment, but you do know what I mean. It's a rarity in 2022. Plus, Bandai Namco's latest release, Elden Ring, was of course released in every region on the same day earlier this year. Another question you might be asking is if the game has English voice acting. It obviously has English subtitles as seen in the trailers and new promotional art, but every line of dialogue we've heard so far in trailers has been the Japanese cast. Re-Arise and Next Order did have English voices, but Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory did not, so it could really go either way. However, we would likely have heard some of the English voices by now if they did exist. During the Digimon Con Ultimate Information and Q&A session, Bandai Namco stated, quote, "We can confirm that Digimon Survive will be localized in English, German, French, Italian, and Spanish to make the game more accessible." Habu-san also clarified that the game will not be fully voiced, quote, "Only the main part of the scenario will be partly voiced." So when they say the game will be localized, localized, I believe they're talking about the text, not voice acting. My money is really on Japanese voices only, with all text localized in English, German, French, Italian, and Spanish, and I think this is completely reasonable, though obviously voices in other language is always appreciated and welcome purely for accessibility, but at this time I don't think they're coming to survive. I for one can't wait to play Digimon Survive. I have a feeling it's going to be great, but even if it isn't, I just want the game to be out so the fan community can kind of move off of the memes and jokes about this game never coming out. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are about that release date. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you in the next video.